Welcome to VVRam Techtuts. Subscribe to our channel. Linux Administration Tutorial. Introduction to Linux. What is OS? OS is an interface between user and the computer hardware. The hardware of a computer cannot understand the human readable language as it works on the binaries like 1 and zeros. It is very hard for human to understand the binary language. So that's why we need an interface which can translate human language to hardware and vice versa for effective communication. Types of operating system: single user, single tasking operating system, single user multitasking operating system, multi-user multitasking operating system. Single user single tasking operating system. In this type of operating system, only one user can log into the system and can perform only one task at a time. Example: MS DOS. Single user multitasking operating system. This type of OS supports only one user to log into the system, but user can perform multitasking at a time, browsing internet while playing music, etc. Example: XP, Vista, Windows 7, 8 and 10, etc. Multi-user multitasking operating system. This type of OS provides multi-user to log into the system, and also each user can perform various tasks at a time. That means multi-user can log into the system and share the resources of the system at the same time. Example: Unix, Linux, etc. History of the Linux. Unix operating system was implemented by the Ken Thompson and Dennis Rich at the AT&T Bell Laboratories in 1969, first released in the 1970s. Later they rewrote it in a new programming language C to make it portable. The availability and portability of the Unix causes it to be widely adopted, copied and modified by the academic institutions and business. During the late 90s, there was several commercial implementation of the Unix. Apple computers, Apple Unix and IBM Unix are AIX, and Sun Microsoft Unix is Solaris. During the late 1990s, Microsoft Windows NT operating system started encroaching into the traditional Unix business, such as banking and the high-ended graphics. Although not as reliable as Unix, the NT became the popular because of the lower learning curve. All the above OS are commercial and property softwares. Linus Torvald has a dream. He wants to create the coolest OS in the world that was free for anyone to use and modify. Based on an obscure Unix flavor called a Minix, Linus took the source code and created his own flavor called Linux. Using the internet, he distributed the copies of his own OS all over the world, dozens of OS with the Linux GUI. Unix principle: everything is a file, configuration data stored in the text. It produces the many utilities. It performs the complex tasks. It is a open source. It support wide variety of hardwares, support many networking protocols and configurations, and multi-user. Thank you. We will see in the next lesson.